So the other day, my student and I were talking about how Czechs like to ask negative questions. And this is a topic that I often talk about in my lessons. It's something that you also learn from almost the very beginning when you learn how to ask directions or to ask for things. You would most likely learn a phrase, Dobrý den, nevíte, kde je restaurace? Nevíte, kde je restaurace? And we have this nevíte, a verb that's in negative form, and literally would translate to don't you know, which in English doesn't have the same meaning. Nevíte, kde je restaurace u vlka would be do you happen to know, do you know by chance where the restaurant u vlka is? If you translate it as don't you know, it sounds like you should know this, why don't you know it? But in Czech, this is a common way to be polite, to ask questions more indirectly, more carefully, and many times more politely. If you go and ask, Dobrý den, víte, kde je restaurace, blah, 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 it's okay too, but it would be more direct. It's more suitable to ask, nevíte, nevíte, kde je? Being more polite, assuming, you know, it might be too much to ask, but would you happen to know where this restaurant is? And this is not the only situation. We can use it for asking directions, for asking for things, but also when we offer something. And in this video, we're going to take a look at how to make these common questions, and I'll give you plenty of examples that you can use in real life. Takže jdeme na to. Ahoj, vítejte na mém kanále Czech by Zuzka, kde vám pomocí angličtiny vysvětluju českou gramatiku. In Czech, we ask negative questions to look for something or somebody. Just like I mentioned before, dobrý den, nevíte, kde je tady pošta, for example. Hello, do you happen to know where the post office is? We like to add also tady. Nevíte, kde je tady pošta? Do you happen to know where a post office is here? So you can ask about anything, even about a person. Dobrý den, nevíte, kde je pán? Do you know where Mr. Blah Blah is? Of course, we could also ask informally. We could use ty. Nevíš, kde je zastávka? Do you happen to know where the bus or a train stop is? Or you went to a restaurant and you left your green umbrella there, which happens all the time. So you go there again and ask. Dobrý den, nenašel se tady zelený deštník? Nenašel se tady zelený deštník? Have you found a green umbrella by chance? Of course, this form is passive voice. It's like, has a green umbrella been found here? But this construction is used very much in Czech. I would also like to talk about it at some point. And of course, you can use it for all kinds of objects, except you have to change the verb, because deštník is masculine, so we have nenašel, has it been found, masculine. Nenašel se on. If you lost something, such as taška, it would be nenašla. Nenašla se tady taška? Did you happen to find a bag in here? With these questions, you are being more careful, you're being more polite, because you're assuming maybe it was not found here. You're not just walking in and thinking, oh, definitely they found it. You can ask in a similar way, have you seen my something something? Prosím tě, neviděl jsi moje brýle? Did you happen to see my glasses? Neviděl jsi moje brýle? And again, you could use it for anything else. Just be careful with this. Moje only works for certain genders and number. If I ask, neviděl jsi můj deštník? Ten deštník. Or you go to a store, you find a shirt and it doesn't fit you exactly. And you are hoping to find a larger size. So you ask the shop assistant politely. Prosím vás, nemáte tuhle košili o číslo větší, one size larger, or I could also say, nemáte tuhle košili ve větší velikosti, ve větší velikosti. Last time I talked about how to grade adjectives. Větší is larger, bigger. And of course, you could also ask a friend or a family member using the ty form, nemáš Nemáš tušku? Do you happen to have a pen? Do you have a pen by chance? And similarly, you could also ask about a person somewhere. Dobrý den, není tady pán Okoun? Is Mr. Okoun here by chance? Or není tady paní Šťastná? Is Mrs. Šťastná here by chance? Some of these sentences would sound okay if you didn't use the negative form. With this one, víte, kde je restaurace? It sounds okay, but it could also sound like you're quizzing the person. Like, do you know where this restaurant is? Víte, kde je restaurace u Vlka? If you walk into a restaurant asking for your umbrella, našel se tady deštník? It sounds like you are so excited, you so much believe that the umbrella was found. You're assuming a positive answer. With many of these questions, when they are in negative form, it's also like you are almost assuming a negative answer. Not so much here, but when you offer something. But I would say this is one of the most used cases when you are looking for something or someone. Ask in negative questions with these common verbs. And as you might have noticed, I also included dobrý den, prosím vás, which is an introduction, hello, excuse me, and we still usually use the verb in the negative form to make it extra polite, extra careful, extra indirect. Next common usage is when we offer something, usually a drink or food. We can take the verb chtít, to want. Nechceš něco k pití? Would you like something to drink? Of course, there are many possibilities, many ways to ask, do you want or would you like something to drink? But this is one of them, being informal, friendly, but still polite. Nechceš něco k pití? Do you want to have something to drink by chance? It's better translated as, would you like something to drink? So when you have a friend over, this is the best way to ask, because if you used conditional, chtěla bys něco k pití, that's too much obstruction. It sounds like it's too much work for you. Even though nechceš něco k pití psychologically suggests that you would answer ne as well. Nechceš něco? Ne. But if you ask chceš něco, you would be more likely to answer jo, ano. It is still polite. So I just mentioned that you could also ask directly, chceš něco k pití? And in areas like marketing, it's probably not the best to ask negative questions because they're expecting a negative answer. But when you offer something for your friend, something as easy as making a coffee or serving meal, then this is perfectly okay. And of course you could have anything after. Nechceš si sednout? Would you like to sit down? Nechceš už jít? Would you like to leave now already? No. Nedáme si kafe? This is a good one. It could be translated as shall we have coffee? Nedáme si kafe? Of course, literally this would be will we have coffee or will we not have coffee? Of course, that's the wrong translation. But the way Google Translator doesn't get this right, it translates it with a negative form. Don't you want something to drink? And ChatGPT got this right, got all the sentences that I put in there right. Another common usage is suggesting something, often translated as shall we, just like that sentence I showed you before. So imagine you are at a party with a friend and you are not enjoying it and you're ready to go, so you could ask carefully, nepůjdem už? Shall we go? I'm giving you the most natural question that I would ask in an informal situation. Of course, this is a specific form which is used in Common Czech without using the E. Nepůjdeme would be the full form, and if you would like to learn more about this, I made a video about it a month or 2 months ago. You can watch it here or you will find the link below the video. So nepůjdem už or nepůjdeme už. Shall we go now? Or you could ask, nechceš už jít? This could have two meanings. I could be asking impolitely someone to leave. Do you want to leave? I need to be alone. Nechceš už jít? Or suggesting, do you want to go now? You and I. In a similar way like this one. Another handy phrase is nešlo by. this is actually using conditional as well, so you can see that it's even more careful. Nešlo by means would it be possible, for example, nešlo by to zrušit, would it be possible by chance to cancel it? Nešlo by to zrušit? And you don't have to use the conditional, you could also say nepůjde. That is more direct. Nepůjde to zrušit, will it be possible to cancel it? This is showing that you're more hopeful that this will be easy to cancel. But nešlo by is like, do you think it would be possible to cancel it? And of course, this phrase, very useful. Nebude ti vadit, když. Would you mind if, or will you mind? But I think it would correspond more to would you mind because of the negation. Although this is the future tense, will you mind? But in English it sounds too direct. In Czech it would be like, would you mind if I... Nebude ti vadit, když rozsvítím? Would you mind if I turn on the light? And of course we could move it to the next level and use the conditional here, still using the negative. Nevadilo by ti, kdybych rozsvítila. Then we have to change the form and here use kdyby. Nevadilo by ti, kdybych rozsvítila. Has the same function, but you are being more careful, more polite. If you remove the ne part from these sentences, půjdem už, you are already 1 foot out of the door and you're like, let's go. Or chceš už jít, the same thing. If you ask here, šlo by to zrušit, that's okay. Just being more direct. Šlo by to zrušit, showing that you are more hopeful that it will work, it will be possible to cancel. Bude ti vadit, když... it works too, but again, it's more common to keep the negative there. Nebude ti vadit, když. And I have 2 more phrases which are really common and very useful. You saw your friend's picture on Instagram or Facebook that shows Prague. So you want to ask, hey, are you in Prague? Are you in Prague by chance? Nejsi v Praze? Nejsi v Praze? Asking a negative question makes sense because you're not sure. Maybe they just found this picture from last year. They like this picture, they posted it. It doesn't mean they're in Prague. So you're like, do you happen to be in Prague? Nejsi v Praze? We could even add nejsi náhodou. Náhodou means literally by chance. Nejsi náhodou v Praze. It's to emphasize that you think, you're hopeful that maybe they are in Prague. But you're not invasive. Whereas if you say jsi v Praze, it's a little bit nosy, like, oh, you're in Prague. We could also use náhodou in many of the previous questions. And this sentence, neruším, it's very useful. It means, am I interrupting? You are politely asking if you can talk to a person, either on the phone or in person. Neruším, neruším tě, we can add neruším tě. This literally means, am I disturbing you? But it means, are you busy? Can we talk? Neruším. It's very common for someone to call. Ahoj, neruším. Hi, am I interrupting you? Can we talk? I cannot imagine this being said without ne. Ruším is like you already knowing you're interrupting. Sometimes that's the case, but still, it's more polite to keep ne in there. Okay, this is it for the sentences. And now I would like to do an exercise together, which will help you remember the phrases that I showed you. Jdeme na to. In this exercise, you have 6 sentences that have parts missing. Those are the verbs in negative form. You have the translation here. You will complete the phrases with these fragments from the box. Pause the video and resume it when you're ready to check the exercise. And these are the solutions. Shall we call them nezavoláme jim? This is a careful suggestion. Nezavoláme jim. Did I get a letter by chance? Nepřišel mi dopis? Was the boss here now by chance? Nebyl tady teď šéf? Asking carefully. Would you like to exchange this or trade it? Nechceš si to vyměnit? It could also mean that you want to trade, switch places with someone, like situations. Nechceš si to vyměnit? You think you would like to exchange it? Is there an exchange office somewhere? By chance? Není tady někde směnárna? Did you happen to watch hockey yesterday? I'm recording this on Monday and yesterday we won gold. Nedívali jste se včera na hokej? This is all from me. Have you come across questions like this? Have you noticed that Czechs like to use these kinds of questions? You can share your stories if you have something that threw you off and it was related to this topic. Uvidíme se za týden. Ciao!